So hello students and welcome back to yet another video tutorial by Genome Biotech. And in this video tutorial, we would be talking about a very less well characterized pathway for apoptosis. And that pathway is commonly referred to as the granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway. Now, what is this granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway and how does this granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway is being performed in the case of cells? You know that there are three distinct mechanisms of apoptosis that takes place in cell. Those three distinct mechanisms include the extrinsic pathway, the intrinsic pathway, as well as the last one and the most important one, the perforin granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway. The first one, the extrinsic pathway, is a pathway in which an external signal is present in the form of a death ligand. This death ligand binds to a specific receptor called as the death receptor. Once it binds to a specific receptor called as the death receptor, it will induce certain conformational changes leading to the formation of a complex which is commonly referred to as DIS complex, caspase 8 activation, and this caspase 8 activation will lead to the induction of the caspase 3 activation. Once the caspase 3 will be activated, the execution pathway will operate in the cell, and once the execution pathway is going to operate from the cell, then it will lead to endonuclease activation, degradation of chromosomes. After that, the proteases are going to be activated. The proteins are going to be degraded. Degradation of nuclear envelope is going to take place. And ultimately, cytoskeleton recognition is going to take place and formation of apoptotic bodies will occur. So these are the different pathways that are going to induce the caspase 3 activation. The other pathway is intrinsic pathway, the very well characterized pathway in which the mitochondrial changes are responsible for the process of apoptosis, in which the mitochondria is going to be altered, leading to the formation mitochondria. From the mitochondria, the BCL2 family genes are going to be released, such as the back and backs. Once the back and backs are being released, are being produced, they will release the cytochrome C. Cytochrome C will activate the caspase 9 by binding with the procaspase and APOF1 bodies, leading to the formation of caspase 9 activation and a cartwheel shaped structure that will activate caspase 3 and again performing the execution pathway where the execution of the caspase will take place. The last and the most important pathway, not very well understood, not given in Pathfinder, neither given in Cooper or in several other books. Okay, and this pathway is referred to as the perforin granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway. In the perforin granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway, as you can know, there is a very specialized protein, highly specialized protein called as perforin. This perforin perforates the plasma membrane of the cell, causes the activation of two important proteins called as granzymes, granzymes A and granzymes B. Granzyme A and granzyme B both act as proteases. As both of these act as proteases, so they will be catalyzing the activation of specific caspases. Once they will be activating the caspases, they will be inducing the execution pathway for the process of apoptosis. Okay, and so inducing apoptosis. Now let us look at the detailed diagrams about the perforin granzyme apoptotic pathway that could be understood from this particular pathway. This is the simplest pathway that we are going to study. Perforin granzyme apoptotic pathway is the primary signaling pathway used by cytotoxic T lymphocytes to eliminate virus infected or transformed cells. So cytotoxic T lymphocytes are going to eliminate the virus infected or transformed cells. If there is a cell and that cell is being infected with any viral particle, or if the cell has been transformed, then that cell has to be eliminated, and the elimination is being done with the help of perforin granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway. Studies in gene disrupted mice, that is the NOD mice, indicate that perforins in combination with granzyme could induce apoptosis. You can see that this is a cytotoxic lymphocyte. Cytotoxic lymphocyte, for example, the TC cells that are present, these TC cells TC, cytotoxic T lymphocytes, could release two different proteins. One is called as the granzyme, another one is referred to as the perforin. Now, granzyme and perforin will be released. They will be binding to their specific receptor molecules. These are the receptor molecules to which they can bind. Once they will bind to the receptor molecule, they will be inducing endocytosis. Once the endocytosis is being induced, then the granzyme A, when released from the endocytic bodies, will move to the mitochondria, will catalyze the release of the specific cytochrome, and the reactive oxygen species are going to be produced. Once the reactive oxygen species are going to be produced, then it will lead to the killing of the cell to take place. Okay, you can also look it like here. Okay, so see this, the first point that is going to take place here. The granzyme A is going to be activating the mitochondrial reactive oxygen species will be produced. Reactive oxygen species will lead to large number of modulators that would be produced, that will go inside the nucleus, will cause DNA fragmentation to be induced. This is the DNA fragmentation that is being induced by all these proteins. They will move into the nucleus. Once they move into the nucleus, they will cause the DNA to be fragmented. And this is how the DNA fragmentation has taken place. The proteins which are being expressed by the mitochondria is reactive oxygen species. Reactive oxygen species reacts with the endoplasmic reticulum and will lead to the expression of HMG2, PP32, APE1, TRAX1, SAT1, NM23H1. This will form a protein complex that will go inside the nucleus and will degrade the genetic material of the cell. Studies in gene disrupted mice indicate that perforin in combination with granzyme induces apoptosis. It is vital for cytotoxic effector functions and for undefining role of granzyme mediated apoptosis. That what is the role of granzyme mediated apoptosis, how the granzyme mediated apoptosis is going to be performed. The next pathway that is being operational in the cell is from this particular pathway. That is, the perforins are going to be perforated, perforing the plasma membrane of the cell. Once the perforin and the granzyme reaches into the cell, then what is going to happen? Within the cell, the repair is going to take place. And once the repair takes place, the granzyme B will be there. Granzyme B will be released. Granzyme B will catalyze the activation of the reactive oxygen species and with several different apoptotic pathways. For example, the first apoptotic pathway might be the granzyme B could lead to the activation of caspase 3 directly. See, granzyme B activating the caspase 3, catalyzing the execution caspases to be activated. The granzyme B can lead to ICAD inactivation and CAD activation. ICAD were the proteins which were responsible for the inhibition of the cell cycle damage, inhibition of the DNA damage, and then it will catalyze the DNA damage to take place. Reactive oxygen species along with the granzyme B can also induce BID, BAX and BAC proteins, BCL2 proteins, and APAF mediated apoptosis pathway through caspase 9 can also be induced, as well as caspase 10 directly apoptotic pathway can also be induced by according to the granzyme perforin mediated apoptotic pathway. Now, please let us study about this pathway. Perforins are pore forming proteins. As you know that when you talk about perforin and granzymes, the first set of protein is commonly referred to as perforin. Now, what do you mean by perforin? Perforin are specialized type of proteins which are present. Perforins are pore forming proteins. Okay, you can also see they are being shown in green and other different types of colors. Okay, they are pore forming proteins, also known as cytoplasmic granule toxins. Granzyme is a family of structurally related protein. These belongs to a family of structurally related serine proteases stored within the cytotoxic granules of the cytoskeleton lymphocytes. They are present within the cytoskeleton granule of the lymphocytes. So they are present within the lymphocytes and they will be inducing the apoptotic pathway. Perforin and granzyme induces target cell apoptosis cooperatively. Both perforin and granzyme are going to be activated cooperatively, and then they will be activating the target cell apoptosis. Granzyme is necessary for triggering apoptosis of target cells, but they depend on being appropriately delivered by perforins. So all T lymphocytes, especially the TC cells, secrete the granzyme and perforin. Although granzyme is able to induce apoptosis, but the secretion of these granzyme A and granzyme B is based upon the action of perforins. It is these perforins which will be effectively transferring the granzymes across the plasma membrane of the target cell. Once the granzymes have been transferred, then they will induce apoptosis either through the mitochondrial mechanism directly or directly with the ICAD-CAD mechanism or with other more complex mechanisms, ultimately causing the DNA to be fragmented. Once the DNA is going to be fragmented, the DNA is going to be cleaved. Next point. Perforin and granzyme induce target cell apoptosis cooperatively. Granzyme is necessary for triggering apoptosis of target cells, but they depend on being appropriately delivered by the perforins. So perforins are delivering them up. Both perforin and granzyme binds to the target cell surface as part of a single macromolecular complex associated with sirglycan. So glycine, a specific molecule present over the surface of the plasma membrane, is responsible for the binding with the granzyme and perforin apoptotic pathway. After the binding with sirglycan, the perforin and the granzyme are being released into the cell. Both perforin and granzyme binds to the target cell surface as part of a single macromolecular complex associated with sirglycan, which further diminishes the probability of passive diffusion of granzymes. Now, perforin and granzyme induce target cell apoptosis cooperatively. Both of these are going to induce the apoptosis of the target cell. In humans, there are several different types of granzymes. They can be referred to as A, B, H, K, and M. While in the case of mice, their granzymes are A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N. So these are the other different types of granzymes which are being used in the case of mice. Granzyme A and B are the most abundant granzymes which are present and have been the topic of the most studied granzymes have been the topic of the talk. The function of granzyme A and B is inducing target cell apoptosis has been investigated extensively in vitro, and they are better understood than the role of perforins at molecular level. So the role of granzymes have been extensively studied throughout the world. Now, process and regulation of perforin granzyme apoptotic pathway. In order to study the process, let me just open the two diagrams in side by side manner with regard to each other so that the students can betterly understand it in a better manner, so that we can have a conversation, a much more meaningful conversation about the two. So I'm just switching my windows to another one, to a word file of the same. Just a second. Now, most probably. Okay. Just a second. Now you can look at the pathway which is being operational in the case of cell. Now, see, process and regulation of the perforin granzyme apoptotic pathway. Once secreted by the cytoplasm, please try to visualize this on your laptop. Once the granzyme and the perforins are being secreted in the cytoplasm, these enters into the target cells, where which is vital step in cell death. The major lytic proteins packaging within the granules are different granzymes and the pore forming proteins, which are referred to as perforins, which facilitate the internalization of the granzyme by the cell. So the perforin and the granzymes binds to their sirglycan receptors over the plasma membrane and are being internalized into the cell. Granzyme B mainly triggers caspase activation indirectly rather than by direct caspase processing. It achieves this by direct activating pro-apoptotic gene BH3 only, member of the BCL2 family. So a very important member of the BCL2 family is going to be activated. A member of the BCL2 family which is being activated that you can find. This member of the BCL2 family is commonly referred to as the BH3 only member. This BH3 only member once gets activated, it will be activating the other members by interacting through domain death agonist that is referred to as BID. You can look at this particular diagram, the first diagram. Okay. In this particular diagram, you can find that granzyme B is going to activate BID. BID is going to activate BAX and BAC along with the BCL2 family of proteins, as well as BCL2 family of proteins once activated will inhibit the anti-apoptotic genes BIM and will cause the release of the cytochrome C via the action of BAX and BAC. Once the cytochrome C has been released, the cytochrome C will cause the activation of the procaspase 9 into caspase, and ultimately the caspase will lead to the formation of the APAF1 bodies, leading to the formation of apoptosome. Moving back, BID together with pro-apoptotic BCL2 family BAX and BAC protein result in the leakage of pro-apoptotic mitochondrial mediator such as cytochrome C into the cytosol. Cytochrome C releases activated procaspase 9 and by binding to the apoptotic protease activator factors such as APF1. Now, after the procaspase 9 has been released, it has been converted into a potent caspase. It is going to bind with the APF1 protein and will lead to the formation of apoptosome that you can find here. Procaspase 9 become mature caspase, which continues to form the apoptosome and activate downstream cascade reactions, and ultimately causing the activation of the effector caspase called as caspase 3. Activation of caspase 3 is able to cleave specific substrate like ICAD. Now, once the caspase 3 has been activated, it will be inhibiting ICADs. Now, what do you mean by ICADs? ICADs are inhibitors of caspase activated DNAs. Okay, so these are the inhibitors of the DNAs enzyme. Once the inhibitor of the DNA's enzymes gets inhibited, then the caspase are going to be activated. Once the inhibitor of the caspase enzymes are going to be inhibited, the caspase are going to become activated, allowing the CAD to translocate into the nucleus and causes the fragmentation of the DNA. The CAD, after the inactivation of ICADs, okay, that is inhibitor of the caspase dependent DNAs, then caspase activated DNAs will get free. Once the caspase activated DNAs gets free, it will translocate into the nucleus and will be cleaving the DNA present within the genetic material of the nucleus and will be cleaving it off. Okay, allowing the CAD to translocate to the nucleus to fragment DNA. Beside BID, granzyme B can inactivate MCL1, which is a member of anti-apoptotic BCL2 family gene. See this, granzyme B is also going to inactivate MCL1. It is another member of the BCL2 family gene, okay, which is a member of the anti-apoptotic BCL2 family gene to release the pro-apoptotic gene BCL2 family protein BIM on the outer mitochondrial membrane. It will cause the release of other proteins called as BIM, and granzyme B can also mediate the effector caspase 3 and initiator caspase 8 to regulate the apoptotic pathways. Then the initiator caspases are going to be activated. Contrast to granzyme B, granzyme M does not dependent on mitochondria to regulate, but granzyme M may activate granzyme B by the cleavage of proteinase inhibitor 9. Once the proteinase inhibitor 9 is getting cleaved, then the granzyme M is going to be activated. This is another pathway that is going to be activated through granzyme M. Granzyme M may activate granzyme B by the cleavage of proteinaceous inhibitor called as PI9. Okay, cleavage of proteinase inhibitor, which is referred to as the PI9. Once the PI9 proteinase inhibitor is going to be cleaved, then it is going to activate the process. Granzyme M can also directly cleave the ICAD inhibitor of caspase inhibited DNAs to unleash CAD like granzyme B. Granzyme A induce loss of mitochondrial inner membrane potential and the release of reactive oxygen species. So granzyme A induces loss of mitochondrial inner membrane potential. Granzyme A will inhibit the inner mitochondrial membrane potential. It will release the reactive oxygen species from the mitochondria. This reactive oxygen species is going to fragment the DNA molecule and in response also produces a set of complex proteins such as APE1, PP32, HMG2, NM23H1 and TRAX1 to translocate into the nucleus where they are going to degrade the genetic material of the nucleus. Okay, a cleavage, three members of the set complex that are involved in DNA repair is HMG2, APE1, and SAT. APE1, SAT, and HMG2 are involved in DNA repair. And once these proteins are being cleaved, then there will be no DNA repair taking place. Ultimately, the DNA is going to be fragmented. So here the most important part being, see, in response to the reactive oxygen species produced, in response to the reactive oxygen species which have been produced here by the mitochondria, the endoplasmic reticulum associated SAT complex proteins are being produced. Now, this endoplasmic reticulum associated SAT protein complexes which have been produced, these protein complexes are going to be specifically leading to the formation of APE1. You can find APE1 here, PP32, this is PP32, HMG2, this is HMG2, NM23H1, and TRAX1 to translocate into the nucleus. Granzyme A cleaves three members of the SAT complex that are involved in DNA repair. Now, granzyme A, which is already present, is going to cleave the three different members such as HMG2, APE1, and SET. And once it is going to cleave it, then what is going to happen? Once it is going to cleave it, then these three will be cleaved and there would be no action that would be produced. So that the repair is not possible. On the other hand, the granzyme B has inactivated the inhibitors of caspase activated DNAs so that the caspase activated DNAs can become active. Once they become active, they move into the nucleus, catalyzes the activation of the DNA fragmentation. The DNA gets fragmented and there is no repair mechanism whatsoever might be present. Now, perforin granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway in different diseases. Now, which are the different diseases involved? Studies in gene disruption mice, that is referred to as nod mice, etc., indicate that perforin pathway is involved initially in defense against viral pathogens, transformed cells. So any cancer cells, viral pathogens can be effectively killed with the perforin granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway, but unsuspected roles of perforin as a crucial mediator of the immune surveillance of the spontaneous transformed cells and in B cell homeostasis and T cell memory have been shown in vitro. Now, paradoxically, perforin is instrument in the pathogenesis of certain autoimmune disorders. They have been studied in the case of autoimmune disorders such as insulin-dependent diabetes mellitus, in non-obsessors diabetes, etc. The perforin granzyme-mediated apoptotic pathway that regulate granule polarization and exocytosis are being determined, and these pathway might be disrupted by the interactions of the cancer cell with other cytotoxic lymphocytes. So there are large number of physiological pathways where this perforin granzyme mediated apoptotic pathway works. especially in the case of virus infected cells, especially in the case of transformed cells. Ultimately, killing the transformed cells, ultimately killing the cells that have been modified. So that's all for today. Hope you have enjoyed the lecture. And if you feel any question, any problem, you can ask me. Thank you. Good night. Bye.